Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new video. In today's video we will go over new resonators. I'm Profesy and let's go into this. So the things that we have in the new patch are going to be new banners and some reruns. Basically in phase 1 we'll have CHISA and PHEOBE. So let's talk about like their weapons and their overall value. For CHISA, first we'll have she will inflict a Havoc Bane. So that's what we know with 100% accuracy. Her best set that is coming out next patch will reward a Resonator who inflicts Havoc Bane with 30% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 5 seconds. I think she will most likely have a quick inflicting of Havoc Bane in her kit. So this short duration actually tells me a lot with that one. So yeah, she most likely will inflict this very fast. And from live stream we could actually, if you listen to the devs, they said they mentioned a lot of stages of her resonance skills, so she'll actually cast resonance skills quite a lot. And why that might be important, first let's go over Havoc Bane. This one I went full on Havoc Bane in the last video. But this is basically what it does. You can inflict this, defense of targets is reduced, Havoc Bane stacks can go up to 3 by default, with each stack reducing target's defense by 2%, which is basically 6% at the default 3 stacks. If you can increase this to 6, it will be 12%, so 6% or potentially 12% if this works like air erosion, and if CHISA can increase the amount of stacks that you can have. So that'll be amazing. But again, so far that's at least 6% def ignore for entire team, which is amazing. That's like free bonus just from using the mechanic alone. And so CHISA also seems not really as a support character, but maybe as a sub DPS, because this is set like similar like damage buffing like Yuno. Yuno also uses the Augusta's DPS set on her, so it's like double DPS, but you're like using Yuno as a buffer instead of like main DPS, so it's not really a quick swap. But again, this is probably how CHISA will work. I don't really think she will be a main DPS, at least from what it seems. Maybe she will. It'll be nice if she is, but I will like if she has some like utility for her to be like future proof, because I think those kind of characters are the most valuable ones on a roster. And so yeah, inflicting Havoc Bane, which is 6% def ignore at the baseline with the default max stacks. If she can increase it, it'll be even better. Yeah, a 30% Resonance Liberation damage bonus for 5 seconds means you have a short window to activate your Liberation, damaging attacks. Maybe her Forte also does Liberation damage, maybe her Resonance skill also does the Liberation damage, who knows. And so if she actually, like Dev said, if I understand correctly, they said she has like a specific Resonance skill for one action, for another action she has another one, and potentially she has 3 resonance skills, which most likely inflict Havoc Bane. And if that's the case, most likely you can like back to back activate them a lot, and that is why I think CHISA might be a very like free to play unit if she's a DPS. Even if she's a hybrid, she will be free to play, and this is why. So there's a weapon among the Broadblades called Lustrous Razor. This weapon is actually from standard banner. It's not really a limited weapon, and instead of a critical rate like other weapons like giving crit stats, this one gives 36% attack buff on the main stat and very good base attack. So there's a lot of attack increase from this weapon, but you don't have that much crit. But depending on CHISA, if she's a main DPS, this might be a DPS like slight decrease, because this attack percentage will make up for like crit damage loss, because this is like 100% like raw increase for all the damage. But honestly, CHISA with the damage bonus from her Sonata set and 2-piece Havoc set, I would say she might actually want more attack percentage, so this weapon will be very amazing. And because she does Resonance Liberation damage, let's read what this weapon actually does. So at R1, at 1 copy, increases energy regen by 12.8%. If CHISA is actually a liberation based character, her liberation is very important. So if that's the case, which most likely is, you will need something around 125% to 130% energy regen on CHISA in order for her to actually effectively work. So this is very good buff for a standard weapon. Now let's go to the next one. When Resonance skill, which CHISA potentially will do a lot, is released, increases Resonance Liberation damage by 7%, stacking up to 3 times. This effect lasts for 12 seconds. I'm 100% sure that CHISA, if she's a hybrid, she's 100% gonna rotate at the speed of someone like Lupa. Maybe like 8 seconds if you fully optimize her rotation, because this short window, like Galbrena has similar set where she like constantly applies the buffs, and so the duration is short to be more tailored towards her. But again, Galbrena can rotate pretty fast, even with advanced rotation. So yeah, from that perspective, I would say this is amazing buff, and this tells us that she might have a very short rotation, like 8 to 10 seconds. That will make her very smooth and optimal and consistent. So I will like that. That will mean that probably like Lustrous Razor can fully be utilized by CHISA, and then might actually make her signature less like priority to get compared to like Lustrous Razor, right? Because if you can get this weapon, or if you already are fortunate enough to have this upgraded and leveled up, you can use this on CHISA on release, and it will be a very strong weapon. So honestly, this is a very budget option. I would say it's better, more cheap to get this over her signature if you can't afford her signature, or especially if you lose 50-50 and don't have guaranteed. Yeah, you're gonna spend a lot of summons on her, and then getting her weapon can be even more of a struggle if you're missing some pulls. So having this Lustrous Razor with the standard like pulls will be a good choice in my opinion. And so yeah, that's for CHISA. I think overall she'll be amazing. I think CHISA also with all this Havoc Bane, with very good Broadblade being in a game, if Havoc Rover gets buffed and got Havoc Bane introduced into their kit, CHISA will actually be entirely free to play, because now you have a Havoc Bane DPS that can actually synergize with CHISA. On top of that, you have very good budget free to play weapon, so now you can actually get CHISA, get her going without actually spending on her weapon, spending on specific premium units. But again, from what I see, this Havoc Bane mechanic is actually broken, because so far we could only cope with PHEOBE, but now with Havoc Bane working like this, like an actual buff to entire team's damage, this is actually something that can synergize with Kartetia team, and this is how. So basically, Arrow Erosion team is usually using Arrow Rover, and Arrow Rover doesn't apply erosion stacks himself. He actually converts Havoc Bane, Fusion Burst, Glacial Cave, and Electro Flare, as well as Spectral Frazzle, into erosion stacks, into equal amount of erosion stacks, or like the max stacks if you have more than 3. And his outro skill increases the amount of stacks by 3. So you can have 6 erosion stacks, but you already have 3 stacks from actually converting Havoc Bane into erosion. So with CHISA potentially fast applying Havoc Bane, she can actually be amazing in Kartetia team, especially because Arrow Rover is also healing a lot. So basically I would say if you don't have Chacona but you want your Kartetia team to be better and potentially, right, have more team options, because CHISA, I think she might have even more buffs in her kit depending on how they design her. So I'm not really sure. I even watched some leaks before, but I forgot most of it because I'm not trying to like base my opinion on a character based on leaks. I'm actually trying to be as realistic as possible, have something that's like realistic and confirmed. So I wasn't really paying attention to leaks that much, but what I heard is like she got buffed, then she got nerfed, then she got nerfed again, then she got buffed. So we'll see. This one already seems very valuable. Her set gives her a lot of damage increase, so we'll see what ends up happening. So far I can think of Kartetia, Arrow Rover and CHISA being a nice team, because CHISA will apply Havoc Bane, which will give Death Ignore to entire team, Kartetia and Arrow Rover. Then Arrow Rover will convert Havoc Bane into Erosion, giving Kartetia that extra consistency, so you can just inflict extra 3 stacks from small Kartetia. Then Fleur de Lis will have 6 stacks to actually use her kit, and then you just need to reapply like 1 or 2 stacks to like get the full damage of your ult from Kartetia. And from there, honestly I think the damage of Kartetia will increase with Havoc Bane being here, especially with the defense ignore to entire team. So yeah, honestly this will be a very good addition to the roster. So yeah, and especially if CHISA can apply Havoc Bane off field, like after you cast ult, then for like 30 seconds, every like 2-3 seconds she applies additional like stack of Havoc Bane. That will be actually broken for Kartetia team, so I think that will be amazing. Because of Arrow Rover, that can be actually an amazing synergy that you can do with CHISA and Kartetia. So yeah, honestly I think CHISA might be a very good hybrid unit. We just need to wait and see what exactly she does. I'm really excited to read her outro skill. I can't wait for them to actually give us more details on her kit. So we'll go over that when they release that. So next one is Phoebe, and Phoebe is the easy one. Phoebe is just very easy to pick up character. Her signature is Luminous Hymen. This one is very specific. Dealing damage to enemies with Spectre Frazzle gives 14% basic and heavy attack damage, respectively, damage bonus, and stacking up to 3 times. That's basically 42% damage bonus for heavy and basics. And she does a bit of both. I think she does big hits on heavy attack damage, but again, honestly, also her outro skill amplifies damage from Spectre Frazzle on enemies around the active resonator by 30%. So honestly it's not really like, unless you have Zani. If you have Zani, Phoebe is a must pull, otherwise your Zani is gonna suck. But again, even without Zani, Phoebe is actually, unlike Zani, very a standalone unit. She can be played with Spectral Rover and Verina / Shorekeeper. So you have very budget teams that you can already run. And basically her best in slot, main DPS Phoebe best in slot team is like Spectral Rover, Shorekeeper and Phoebe. And I think you can exchange Shorekeeper for like Mortefi if you can dodge more. So yeah, her damage is nice. She can equip a String Master, but because String Master wasn't in a game, this weapon right here gives like a 24% attack boost, like everyone can use it. But it wasn't in a game for so long, so instead of waiting for this, you can just straight up just get, you know, you can just get her weapon. It gives 36% critical rate, same like String Master. 12% attack, which is like one part of it, and this is like the best buff for Phoebe. If you don't want to get Phoebe, this weapon is definitely skippable, obviously, but yeah, Phoebe is just a good character. There's nothing really bad to say about her. You get her, you cannot make a mistake. She's easy to learn, easy to build. She has amazingly free-to-play team that's also like her best in slot, if you want to play her as a main DPS. If you want to actual best in slot teammates, yeah, Zani is like best in slot, and so yeah, I will honestly say yeah, just go for it if you really want her. But yeah, she's like skippable. She's not like must pull. She's just a very good unit, but not really like something that will like break the game or something. She's a very good unit. CHISA, potentially amazing, and so yeah, that's for phase 1. Phase 2 will have PHROLOVA and CANTARELLA. And honestly, the value of CANTARELLA depends on whether you have PHROLOVA or not. If you don't have PHROLOVA, the most safe bet on 2.8 is like skip CHISA, skip PHEOBE, and then get PHROLOVA. If you don't have her. PHROLOVA is currently the #1 character in the game. My favorite character are Calcharo and Galbrena, but again, even though Galbrena came out recently, yeah, still outperforming the splendid performance of the orchestrator like PHROLOVA. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's impossible. She's just too strong, she just too powerful. She building her own critical damage stacks. She also uses Rectifier. Again, she can use something like String Master if you have it. She can use Cosmic Ripples because her set gives her, again, 20% extra critical rate. So you can easily build the crit ratios without her signature weapon, without crit weapon. So you can actually use Cosmic Ripples and still get amazing results because of this hefty, like 53% attack boost, which is like amazing. It's like crazy diabolical. But again, nothing really too crazy there. I would say PHROLOVA, because she's the best character in the game, she's basically must pull in my opinion. If you don't have this character, you're literally putting yourself in disadvantage, and Kuro actually giving you a chance to get the best character in the game. Use it and get this character. If you have her but don't have CANTARELLA, I would say getting CANTARELLA is very high value, because CANTARELLA and PHROLOVA can literally combine with any DPS in a game, like Gian, even Calcharo, even though he doesn't get any benefit, because these two will do so much damage. Calcharo doesn't really need to do that much damage to actually perform. Then you can use, I don't know, you can use Danjin as a main DPS if you really want. You can even use the most free DPS in a game, and it's Havoc Rover, literally, because he's a Havoc. He can also take advantage of PHROLOVA's auto skill. PHROLOVA's auto skill is that incoming resonator gains 20% Havoc damage amplification, 25% heavy attack damage amplification for 14 seconds. So that's 45 on heavy attack Havoc DPS. She's very good, honestly. Not really crazy, but honestly, she makes enhanced attacks. She's just a broken character, honestly. And the reason why she's actually broken is because her kit literally builds up critical damage stacks. So even if you have like something like I do, like 250% critical damage, she's still, that's like, for some other characters, for every other DPS in the game, they'll be like kind of low, not really good. But for PHROLOVA, she's actually building stacks and correcting that. Like bad echo rolls are actually not really bad, like on other characters. Like having like bad crit ratio is not really as bad if you have like at least 55% critical rate. Your set will give you extra 20%, you'll have 75, which is good. Then your critical damage will just get better and better. You get 25% for free from using enhanced skill. Wait, yeah, this one. Obtain 10 stacks upon entering battle. Every stack is like 2.5. 10 times 2.5 equals like 25%. And then you can get up to 24 stacks, which is like diabolical crazy. There's like 50% critical damage. Then you get additional 10%, which is like 60% more, and then you can get like up to like additional 100. Like, what are we even doing, man? Like, more rotations you do with PHROLOVA, the faster rotations you have, the more she is building stacks. So basically, at the beginning she gets 10. Every single rotation with the character that are not best in slot for her, you get at least 4 stacks. 2 from her outro skill, actually triggering 2 enhanced stacks from Hecate, which is actually what gives you a stack. And then you just cast off-field big nuke of 80k damage every single time that enhanced attack is cast. And it is casted every single time your teammates do echo skill cast. So because you can only have echo skill cast once with all the units, you will get basically per rotation you get 4. 1 from your support, 1 from DPS that you're entering into. And so when you go back to Frolova, you have like 14 stacks now, and every single rotation you get 4 more and more like stacks until you reach 24. Then you start reaching like even higher level of stacks, which is amazing. Like this character is just straight up broken. And if we get endgame that's even longer than Whimpering Waste, even longer than TOA, in holograms, this is just the longer the fight, the worse it gets for a boss. I'm actually feeling sorry for a boss in a hologram that actually makes you fight longer if you're using Frolova, because they don't know what they're like dealing with. Like, this character is just absolutely diabolically broken. For Cantarella, her kit is basically Ultra Skill, Havoc Damage Amplification for 20%, and Resin Skill 25%. So Frolova does a lot of Resin Skill damage when on field, and when off field she does Echo Skill damage. And what I said before is that every single time your teammates cast Echo Skill, Frolova will do the enhanced attack, and that attack does 80k damage. So every single time someone casts an Echo Skill, or has ability that is treated as casting Echo Skill, she will do a lot of damage, like 80k every single time. And so what Cantarella does is that, where is it? So it's not the intro, but it's Liberation. So in Liberation, casting this skill is also considered casting Echo Skill. So now Cantarella already casts 2. One is Echo and one is her Liberation cast. But that's not enough. We have Forte Circuit, and this one says Mirage. Okay, I don't really know. Where is it? Someone here. She actually casts 4 Echo Skills. Yeah, here. Forte Circuit, Perception Drain. This is like the big like nuke that she does. Casting this skill is also considered casting Echo Skill. That's 3rd Echo cast. So that's 3rd one. Very good. Shiver. Yeah, this one does nothing. Skill. So Resin Skill when you activate it. Hazy Dream. Yeah, this is nothing. Okay, when in Mirage, Resin Skill becomes Flickering Reverie, which is considered an Echo Skill when being cast. So that's 4. And 4 Echo Skills, that means you get 4 times 80k damage for free while rotating on Cantarella. So that's actually very broken for Frolova team. That's why I say, and she's the best in slot actually for Frolova, because she's buffing with her outro 45% of Resin Skill for Frolova because she's a Havoc DPS. And so Frolova gets 45% amplification to her biggest nuke, Scarlet Coda, which is Resin Skill damage, and Cantarella is the best one to buff her. And not only that, but Cantarella can also work with Havoc Rover, with Dungeon, with Carlotta, with Jinxie. She's actually the best in slot for Jinxie because Jinxie needs a lot of coordinated attacks, and currently Cantarella has the highest number of coordinated attacks in the game, because outside of her actual coordinated attacks, she does more coordinated attacks with like basic attack stage 3 or something like that, some Resin Skills and other stuff. Like, I don't know specifically, but I'm planning on getting her, and that is why I'm going to just throw like up to 30 pulls maybe. If I get CHISA, it'll be nice, but I'm not really going for her unless she's like very, very needed. But again, I'm targeting Cantarella because I really want another healer, because Cantarella also heals. She also uses a rectifier, so again, this is her signature, Whispers of the Sirens. Yeah, this is the only resonator outside of Cantarella that can actually benefit from this. which is like 40% basic attack, casting echo skill within 10 seconds after intro skill or basic attack hit. You get 1 stack of Gentle Dream. You get 2 if you cast 2 different echoes, but you cannot do that unless you're Cantarella. So yeah, this basically falls off unless you're using this on Cantarella. Basically ignores 12% targets Havoc resistance. But honestly, there's like only like PHROLOVA that can like cast this one. But again, like Resistance Shred, I'll actually advise you to get Lithium Elegy, which is like the actual main weapon of the PHROLOVA. This is her signature. Crit rate, high base attack, echo skill damage dealt. You can already get 32% echo skill damage bonus and Death Ignore and echo skill damage amplification, which is amazing for almost any resistance skill DPS that uses Rectifier, because Death Ignore is good for everyone and resistance skill is just another hefty bonus. So even Anchor can use this. Anchor can also use Cantarella's 40% basic attack damage bonus from her sig, so amazing. So this weapon can actually be used on multiple characters, not just Cantarella, but I would say it's less priority because Cantarella is not really the biggest damage dealer in the team. But again, that hefty critical damage of 72% is very good amount. And so if you have like 200% critical damage and like 70+% critical rate on your Cantarella, this will be like 272 plus. So it's easier to actually build those crit ratios to deal decent damage. So yeah, honestly, it's a good weapon, but I'm not going for this weapon because I already have a decent rectifier to cover this one. So not really going for this one, but again, I'm going for Cantarella because my account needs it because I don't have a premium coordinated attack user, not a single one. So I definitely need this one. But yeah, that's for me. That's for my account because I have PHROLOVA and I want Cantarella to make PHROLOVA even better because this is one of my favorite characters. And yeah, if I have Phoebe, I would like to have Phoebe, but again, I don't really need her because I have so many DPSs on my account. I have Gene C, so honestly, it's like same thing. I don't plan on getting Zani, so on my opinion, it's just another DPS for Spectro. If you don't have Spectro DPS, Phoebe is a good choice. If you don't really want CHISA, if you have PHROLOVA, don't want Cantarella, Phoebe is nice, very free-to-play option. CHISA, potentially very free-to-play as well. PHROLOVA, I would say kind of actually free-to-play because Cosmic Ripples actually works amazing on her. Cantarella the same. Maybe Cantarella, I mean, she's not really doing that much damage, so yeah, having more or less critical damage doesn't really impact the performance of the team she's in. So I would say fine, very free-to-play friendly option. You use Moonlight Cloud on her in the worst case scenario, and you should have built Moonlight Cloud for every sub DPS. I mean, basically, so you can use it on any sub DPS. So yeah, definitely Cantarella is a good one. PHROLOVA, definitely the best character. Any team can use her, and yeah, that'll be for the banners. And for the weapons, I already told you, Lithium Elegy, in my opinion, is the best one. And yeah, from what I've seen so far, that's basically what we get. In second phase, we're also getting Bullying. I don't know what exactly she does, but from what I see, she's rumored to actually give a resonance skill damage bonus. And if that's the case, Tao Chi will completely be benched. Tao Chi will never be used if people get this character because, yeah, Tao Chi only hope is currently Carlotta, which is already kind of falling off. So yeah, Tao Chi is not in a good spot, and this character might finally put a nail to the coffin. So yeah, that's my honest preview on the upcoming banners. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and see you in the next one.